Special Real Estate Report and exclusive. Estate surveyor Sam Agbato, senior partner Sam Agbato Consulting, speaks on the challenges and investment opportunities in the sector. The eco-friendly pioneering electronic waste management company Itera Technologies Limited in focus as the Chief Executive Officer Ifeanyi Ochonogo takes us through the firm's vision and the environment industry. Mulaj Consultants, the home settlement planning and development service company, is 40, and the visionary town planner Moses Olubumi Ajayi was given a surprise package by the alumni. Find out what this is all about. The power sector metering system report reflects on the activities and position of Hellborn Associates as the Chief Executive Officer, Engineer A.B. Oyedepo, speaks on the industry. This is Inside Business Africa, Africa's business news and information leader. Hello, a very good day to you and thanks for joining us. My name is Kenneth Odishola Stevenson and this is Inside Business Africa. We seem to be having a very loaded program today because we'll be reflecting on several content as we move on. But before that, let me also let you know later on we'll be talking about the metering system in Nigeria and look at the Hellborn Associates position and opportunities and the challenges in the power sector. We'll talk about all this and more when we come back right after this commercial break. Is still Inside Business Africa, Africa's business news and information leader. Thanks for staying with us. Estate surveyor Sam Agbato is the principal partner of Sam Agbato Consulting, one of the top players in the industry. As we reflect today on the real estate as investment as an asset, this particular personality will be speaking on this important report where we talk about the challenges facing the industry and the practitioners as well. Take a listen to the report.
The whole thing dated back to 1989 when I finished my school set. I never knew what to do. There was nothing about the profession to run. So through my old secondary school teacher, who was a Ghanaian, he encouraged me to do town planning. So I obtained form to Ogupoli, now Moshood Abiola Polytechnic, where I was admitted as a town planner. But after my ND, and we had to do 1 year training, so it was difficult getting placement for IT. So it was a process that we now saw that estate agent, estate management. So I said, what's happening here? I said, people with estate, they are getting jobs. So that changed my orientation. And I felt there was no need for me to go back to the Polytechnic, since it can take ND planning for directed into estate management. So that was how I got myself into Obafemi Awolowo University, where I did BSc in estate management. That really opened my eyes and I saw potentials. I saw a lot of opportunities. I saw challenges that were not addressed by professionals, and that fueled my determination to get to the peak of the career. So I had to enroll for MSc in the same university. After that, I had to go back again to say, let me do PhD also. Unethical issues is when people misbehave, when people lack integrity, when people lack trust, when people doesn't play according to the rules of engagement, when people cannot, validate contracts. Okay, when people cannot honor their words, so you see unethical issues arising. However, because we are human beings, we have the tendency to have unethical tendencies everywhere. Okay, but when you have regulations, it means people can be put under checks. They can be put under control that if I do this, my license will be withdrawn. government will not recognize me again, I might not be able to practice again. So that checks people and make people to comport within, professional norms. You realize that when you look at real estate as an asset, it's something that is a vehicle that you can convert to cash. It's a vehicle that you can use as collateral. But unfortunately, substantial portion of our real estate are dead assets. There's this book by a man called De Soto, and they call it The Mystery of Capital. And I was trying to make a distinction between the developed world and the developing nations. And he saw clearly that why do we have this wealth in the developed world? It's because they have a structure, they have a system that recognize that their real estate is an asset, and they have to ensure that there is title on all their lands. So which becomes so easy for people to have access to fund without having any, but your property will just. But on this part of the world, even when you want to take facility from the bank and you have a big house, but there's no title, no bank will give you that money. So real estate is an asset, and because it has a market of its own. Something that we're not consulting is as I said, it's a chartered surveyor an asset surveyor and valuers firms. We were registered in 2006, and we have the instrument of the board, Asset Surveyors and Valuer Registration Board of Nigeria, to practice all over the country. Well, what do? We render what we call valuation for all purposes. Valuation has to do with estimation of value, okay? Valuation for financial reporting, valuation for sale, all form of determination of worth of an asset. We do that. We are involved in project management. We have a lot of projects now that we are managing for our clients. We also do development also, construction of real estate. We do what they call title documentations, perfecting interest in land to our clients. People buy properties, but they don't realize that they need to obtain governor's consent, so we help them to ensure that they are able to perfect their papers. We are involved in carrying out project appraisals, feasibility appraisal, to be able to ascertain if a project will be viable at the end of the day, so that people are not losing their money. We also render what we call advisory services. We are involved now fully with land administration for private estates, where our client has about 100 hectares of land on the island to be reclaimed. So the work is ongoing now. They are going to do a lot of sand filling, and the infrastructure they will lay it out that they will now sell to the public. Generally, we do general real estate consultancy services, both for the government and of course for private individuals and corporate entities.
Our special report on real estate and as an asset and as business will continue on Inside Business Africa in subsequent edition, where we're having some other practitioners and investors speaking on these important and burning topics. Real estate is one of the biggest investments all over the world, and Inside Business is very important. It takes cognizance of this, and hence we are discussing and reflecting on the industry, professionalism and more. Moving on now, town planner Moses Ajayi started Mulaj Consultants 40 years ago. Today, this particular establishment has turned out quite a number of alumni and who are currently CEO in their own rights. Town planner Moses Ajayi is a town planner and has actually given birth to so many practitioners. No wonder some of these practitioners who are alumni of the establishment put together a very important celebration and event to mark the 40 years of Mulaj Consultants. And Inside Business Africa was at the ceremony, where they had lectures, the church service, a press conference, and many activities were put together to mark this milestone. Take a listen to the report. Mulach Consultant, a human settlement planning and development services consulting firm, was established in 1979 by town planner Dr. Moses Olubunmi Ajayi, a past president of the Nigerian Institute of Town Planners, past president, Association of Professional Bodies of Nigeria, APBN, and is one of the respected professional town planners in Nigeria. Celebrating 40 years anniversary of the firm put together by the firm's alumni and started with a press conference with the theme Lawless Government, Intimidated Town Planners and a Complacent Public, a strategy and tragedy of human settlement, cities, rural areas, planning and development in Nigeria. The founder took the press through the memory lane how the vision of the firm started 40 years ago. The anniversary train later moved to the church for a Thanksgiving service, which took place at Maranatha Baptist Church, where prayers was offered first to the visionary of the firm, town planner Moses Olubunmi Ajayi, and the family, the company, Mulach Consultants, and the staff as planned for the next level for the firm, and was led by Reverend Dr. G.E. Omodele and other ministers of God. The grand finale of the 40th anniversary celebration took place at the famous Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry (LCCI) event complex at Alausa, Lagos, where professionals in the built environment in Nigeria gathered to celebrate with the visionary town planner Ajayi and his firm Mulach Consultant for the success story recorded over the years in the urban and regional planning business and practice in Nigeria. The chairman of the event, Engineer Olumuyiwa Ajibola, fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers and current president of the Association of Professional Bodies of Nigeria, APBN, was full of appreciation to town planner Bumi Ajayi and his firm for being there since 1979 to date. Discussing the theme of the event, succession planning and how to manage a successful firm and sustain it, was given by the various professionals during the panel discussion, which include town planner Toyin Ayinde, former commissioner of physical planning Lagos State, architect Ladi Lewis, Mr. Adeleke Olufade, engineer Victor Oyenuga, Mr. Nicholas Risk, who were represented by one of his staff. Other discussants include Estate Surveyor Chudi Ubosi. Some of the high points during the roundtable discussion includes the fact that a consultant must organize his firm out of passion for business and service for humanity. A consultant must identify talent among the workforce and train for the future of the firm. Do not give the workers the impression that the firm is yours forever. Awards were presented to some of the outstanding students that took part in the essay competition organized by Mulach Consultants alumni to celebrate the event and to encourage the up-and-coming town planners. Clients of the firm, including other associates, were also given awards. Friends, well-wishers, associates speaks on the tenacity, growth trajectory and contributions of Mulach Consultant to human settlement and urban planning in Nigeria.
I know Mulach as a very competent company, very competent firm. The principal partner, that's Bumi Ajayi, is very, very efficient.
Has come a long way. It's our wish that the company continue to exist. The company has been involved in so many planning projects all over Nigeria. I wish them well. I want them to continue to excel, to do their best in getting out the best out of services in consultancy.
One is happy that he's doing this today, and one is grateful to God Almighty and to what contribution he has made for the member of planning profession in Nigeria.
I wish and I pray for them that the government will appreciate them and use them for even greater work in the future.
It doesn't take you for granted. He knows that you are up to something, so he will always recognize you. It's a man to be reckoned with.
I pray that this consultancy will go from generation to generation. Amen.
Indeed, it is an honor to congratulate town planner Moses Ajayi, and indeed this particular personality has put in over 40 years in town planning as a profession in Nigeria and Inside Business Africa, in association with our sister publication CED Magazine, congratulate Mulach Consultants and most importantly town planner Moses Olubunmi Ajayi on this milestone. When we come back right after this commercial break, we'll talk about the environment and eTerra Technologies solution. Stay with Inside Business. We'll be right back. Welcome back. The program is still Inside Business Africa, Africa's business news and information leader. Thanks for staying with us. One of the conversation that is currently on the headline across the globe today is the issue of the environment. Not only because the environment is being celebrated as an annual celebration on the 5th of June, but simply because activities of man is reflecting negatively on the environment. Take, for instance, the President of the United States pulled the United States out of the Paris Accord and saying that he doesn't believe in climate change. But so many organizations and countries are actually doing a lot to save the environment, despite all of that. And in Nigeria, a very important establishment, eTerra Technologies Limited, has come up with a solution that could actually solve some of the major challenges of environmental pollution, from your computer system that you have to throw away, to the plastic bags you have to throw away, to the bulb. Could you imagine the light bulb is also constituting environmental nuisance? The Managing Director, Chief Executive of eTerra Technologies Limited, Mr. Ochonogo, speaks on these important milestones and the company's activities on the environment. With the vision to be the leading eco-friendly and highly effective and profitable end-to-end electronic waste manager in West Africa, and the mission to change the prevailing negative trends of e-waste management in Nigeria, eTerra Technologies Limited, led by Mr. Ifeanyi Ochonogo, is poised to make a big difference in the country.
We have ISO 14001 to guarantee environmental protection, so our immediate environment is always at the top, at the forefront of whatever we do. For example, here in this facility, we do not allow affluent noise or any form of disturbance to affect the surrounding community. We do not treat anything with chemicals. We treat with a purely dry process. We're guarding against the noise level. All of these things are internationally monitored and audited. We essentially put the cuffs on ourselves to make sure that we're delivering the best for you. So the last ISO certification we acquired on Christmas Eve last year was our ISO 18001. That's OSAS, Occupational Health and Safety Assessment Series. That's to guarantee on an international standard that all of our own staff are have optimum health and they're not damaged in any way by any of our operations. So I think those are qualities that would essentially guarantee to all our clients that we are doing the right thing internally, externally, and it's not just our opinion that counts, it's an international opinion, which is why we have reached where we have reached. I would like to even say that there's almost no media that hasn't so far taken notice and notice that we are actually the real deal on what we're trying to do.
Backed by the state-of-the-art facilities and modern equipment for effective operation and human capital and service delivery, eTerra Technology is fully equipped to handle major environmental challenges, especially in the e-waste category.
We perform an evaluation. We perform an electronic waste collection, then we perform an evaluation to determine whether the electronic waste is going towards the refurbishment or reuse angle, or it's going towards the recycling or disposal angle. So we have the all systems, whether or not it's for reuse or whether or not it's for disposal. So what the disposal aspect is where we've closed the loop of recycling. Every single ICT asset needs to be dismantled and all the material needs to be separated as far as possible, that an upstream, we are an upstream company, so an upstream electronic waste management company can do. That means dry processes mainly, for example shredding, disintegration. That's where you'll find the data destruction and also other, plastic shredding and all those kind of things. I mean, I should say e-plastic, because e-waste plastic is one of the hardest kind of plastic, and literally hardest to recycle and hardest market to sell after you recycle it. So there is this is the upstream element of things to actually try to get all of these material dismantled, treated, detoxified, treated, and amassed, sorted, and accumulated to be sent to various other refineries or treatment process providers. So you can imagine it's difficult being in the upstream. We mainly rely on what our clients give to us for our services, and thankfully I would like to add that Nigeria has reached the international level for electronic waste management with the establishment of the Extended Producer Responsibility Scheme.
Bringing with it a massive of depth and maturity to the Nigerian environment, e-waste recycling system, eTerra Technologies Limited, according to Mr. Chonogo, handles all forms of e-waste with precision, and the business strategy remains optimum utilization of its people, strategy and technology.
Our ISO 18001, we have the international best international standard for occupational health, safety, and assessment for our own workers. But also we have the measures that must be adopted. I mean, the federal ministry and, as I said, Nigeria, they have questions that they would like to ask, and they visit from time to time, and they're free to. The fact is that we want to do the best for the nation and for the state. So yes, we have that. We have the domestic watchdog, we have the international watchdog, and we've satisfied both so far, thankfully.
Though Nigeria is lagging behind in the technology, understanding and process of e-waste management, to eTerra Technologies Limited, according to Mr. Chonogo, Nigeria has no choice than to embrace the technology to save our environment, and the firm is ready and poised to make the big difference going forward.
I would like to implore everybody to try to look into what electronic device they have, and look into how they can establish a proper manner of disposal once they know the damage that's being done to us. I mean, for example, when I started this, our cancer level was up to 200,000 fresh cancer cases every single year. In 2019, I would say that has doubled. We're over 400,000 fresh cancer cases a year. I'm sure the audience might have noticed that somebody or a couple of people they know have caught cancer, because it's the same thing as me. So please, the electronic waste crisis, whatever you can do to ensure that your electronic waste is disposed properly, whatever you can do to ensure that it is stored properly. If it's in your homes, you need to understand that it might have value, but at the same time, we need to encourage the proper disposal of things and the proper recycling of electronics.
While listening to that particular report on the environment, I would like to implore all of us that the environment is the only word we have. We need to save it, we need to keep it, we need to protect it. Save the environment. Also, going into the power sector, let's talk about the metering system. The metering system is a very important challenge in Nigeria, despite the capacity to install the meter that will cover the entire users of electricity in Nigeria. But the challenges is coming from where, really? Because the operators who have been licensed to actually provide these services are also crying out that they are not being given the opportunity to do their work well. Why the consumers are asking for the meters, the meter manufacturing companies are saying we have them. So where lies the blame game? Is it with the DISCO or where? In this special report and interview with the Managing Director and Chief Executive of Helborn Associates, Engineer Oyedepo, he speaks on the issues surrounding the metering system and the power sector's challenges. Take a listen. Nigeria has made a major transition from a vertically integrated, publicly owned electricity network to a largely privately owned and bundled electricity network, and this is indeed a significant in the nation's history. This also means that unlike 10 years ago, when the country had hitherto only the now defunct NEPA that was responsible for generating, transmitting and distributing electricity, in addition to its responsibility of regulating itself, Nigeria now has different companies generating, transmitting and distributing electricity, as well as independent commission responsible for the sector. The Nigerian Electricity Regulation Commission, NERC, has unveiled its plans to address issues bordering on metering in the sector against the backdrop of publicly owned and an outcry on the viability of the distribution company's ability to respond to the demand of the consumers. Hellborn Associates Limited, a licensed metering system solution providers, according to the managing director, Engineer Oyedepo, a fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, is capable of meeting the challenges as long as the necessary investment-friendly environment is provided.
Just give us the enabling environment. That I think I've said it earlier, that let government have confidence in local manufacturers. Let them manufacture them here and start repairing them here. You see, you need to develop local capacity. You understand what I'm saying now? I was trained in NEPA. In those days, we used to have a transformer yard in Ijora. Yes. So, good response. They do the rewinding, all those things. They will have the oven where they bake those transformers. But most of those things are no more. You see, you should develop local competency. There's nothing anybody can do that we cannot do.
Understanding the importance of the sector to the overall national development, Hellborn Associates Limited is not relenting in championing the cause for acceptability, transparency and the deployment of the right tools and technology and human capital to the sector for the overall benefit of the consumer and the agencies.
Then in the area of how we apply integrity in our day-to-day running of our organization, we put in a lot of core value parameters. Number one, we see clients as the heartbeat of our organization, and we don't work against the interests of our clients. And before we take a job, we will consider the ethics of our profession. The name of my mentor is Adeneji Agbola Gabriel. Is the managing partner of Adeneji Agbola and Co-Chartered Accountant. This is my own direct mentor. I want to appreciate our present leadership in person of Mazi Anthony Okajugo. My message for him is other leaders have been leading us, and we pray that he will lead us to higher ground.
Well, I'm afraid that's about all we have time for on Inside Business Africa for today. But before I go, let me just inform you that Inside Business Commendation Award and the Business Leaders Award will be holding on the 30th of July. Mark it down in your diary, just a couple of days away, and quite a number of personalities will be present. We are opening the door to everyone. Just come out and listen to the chairman of Sona Group of Industry, Mr. Mitchell Dani, to talk about Vision Corporate Nigeria and many other important issues that affect businesses today and the solution to some of those challenges. Don't forget, the 30th of July 2019 at Sheraton Hotels and Towers. Join us as we reflect and also celebrate the 24th edition of Inside Business Commendation Awards. It's been Kenneth Odushola Stevenson presenting Inside Business Africa. Thank you again for watching. See you next time.